season.
It'll record automatically. Archive it. We are. It says we're live on my
Let me look.
my dashboard here. We got we got some little live stream health is there.
All right.
It says we're 20 seconds in, so we're going.
When I call it up, it says waiting for Planet Ant Theater.
You call
Ooh.
YouTube. Yeah, it says waiting for Planet Ant Theater
Oh, interesting.
on mine as well. Uh-oh.
Huh.
Did you... It says on the live stream dashboard, it says we are live,
Interesting.
but it's not showing on my YouTube on my phone.
Yeah. Let's check the.
Oh, I see it. It's live now. I refreshed it. It's there.
Yeah.
Let me-
The Discord is up. I can see me.
Yay.
Right? Weird. On my phone, it's still showing that we're not live.
Yeah.
Yeah, my computer still says waiting for Planet Ant Theater. It says
Oh, I
two
see it.
waiting.
Yeah. On
Oh, on what? At YouTube?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it on the
Let me look on my phone. Maybe it's
on my
something-
phone. I see it on the live stream dashboard, but I don't see it on the actual YouTube app.
natural first pancake. Oh, here. Let me delete this. Oh, here we go.
Bum, 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 bum.
First pancake
Says-
props.
Okay.
See.
It says we're oh, yep. I got it on my phone now.
Sweet.
So I'm gonna.
See, a notification from Magadigan
Ah.
for Discord.
I'm in the middle of making dinner. RN. Oh, he's making dinner for a nurse. That's nice.
All right, I am sharing this on my news right now.
All right.
We're live.
Hooray.
Great.
Yay.
Yay.
I can see me. We have a handful of people watching. Small handful of people watching.
Yay.
All right.
Yay.
How do I get to
Yay.
the live chat on my phone? Here we are.
All right. Hey, everybody. We're doing a live episode with Darren, special guest Darren Shelton. Yay!
Hey,
All right.
everyone.
We're doing a live episode with Darren, and he's
special
watching
guest.
us. Oh,
I don't know where this noise is coming from.
yeah.
All right, I got it. All right, I am good to go. Hey, world. It's me from before. How you guys holding up in the midst of this pandemic that we got going on?
I'm doing well. It's going a little stir crazy, but I stay.
Jason, I'm a little bit concerned with your proximity to Ellen right now.
We haven't been social distancing at all.
I'll go start
Yeah,
my
No,
own
you
stream.
haven't.
Should we social distance if we haven't left the house? I don't know.
Yeah, she should be in one room on one end of the living space, and you should be in the other room, and then you should only communicate via FaceTime.
Okay,
That's what Trump said.
this is Trump's America, yeah.
Yeah, that's what he said. I read it.
But also, we're apparently getting $1,000 a month for nothing.
Well, it's not for nothing. There's
Well-
no such thing as
well
a free
for
lunch.
dying.
I read that somewhere.
And I don't think it's $1,000 a month. I think it's just $1,000.
Oh, maybe. I don't.
It's
Oh,
one
it's supposed to
time.
last.
One time.
Yeah, it's supposed to last 6 months.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's supposed to last the rest of your life. It's your retirement plan.
Joke's on them because I'm not going to use it for the apocalypse.
Oh.
What are you going to use your $1,000 apocalypse money on, guys?
Ooh.
Toilet paper.
Toilet
I'll
paper.
probably invest in the Chinese stock market.
Hell yeah, that's probably smart. Get in while it's low, right?
Yeah, right.
I'm pretty excited for this. Jason and I were walking through it earlier, how this goes.
You
and,
can kind of
it
see
was
a remnant of it, yeah, left in the chat there.
Yeah, here's what ended up happening. Actually, in our test run, so listen to what we did to this hunter. This is a quote from the game. So anyway, we ran into a hunter, and I yelled at the hunter, "I'm ready to die. You will not be the one to kill me, not today." And then what happened in the game is you walk over to the hunter and punch him in the face. He falls backwards and hits his head on the ground. You pick up the gun and shoot him in the face. He screams and falls to the ground. You pull out a knife and stab him several times in the neck. He screams and falls to the ground. You pull out the shotgun and fire at him. So
And
we
that's
won
just from
a
talking.
fight. Yeah,
Yeah,
we won
yeah.
a fight earlier. I'm pretty excited.
Yeah.
Did you figure out how to the voice on the AI? Was it?
Yeah, so we're gonna...
Yeah.
So if you're just watching this and you have no idea what's going on, basically, we're going to be telling a story, and this AI is going to try to fuck it all up and kill us.
Hell yeah.
And, yeah, this is like cutting-edge technology used for a stupid text adventure.
Yeah. What's the? Do you know anything like what's the background on the actual technology?
So Google has like a machine learning voice model called GPT-2, which is like from like 1 billion word search on the internet, and so it's just like predictive text. It's been fed all this stuff from the internet, and it knows. And so this model is trained on a bunch of like adventures.
I'd like to say that I'm not impressed.
Yeah, it gets kind of nonsensical sometimes.
I mean, I'm not going to let it drive my car if it comes to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's driving your car already, buddy.
Yeah.
There's no way.
It's gonna run you over.
You're right.
So to anybody watching, do you want to give us a little prompt? So we're gonna play the game as a character and go through. So if we could get a first name, last name, occupation. I know there's a little bit of a delay, so whoever sees this first, just shout it out. Or if anybody on this, Darren, you got any ideas that you want to be?
Yeah, I want to be. I want to be Carl Jr.
Okay, you are Carl Jr.
The Carl Jr. or a Carl
A
Jr.?
Carl Jr.
Oh, okay.
You are
Carl
a
Jr.
Carl Jr.
Not the owner of the fast food franchise.
Okay, so we're Carl Jr. Anybody on the comments, you can overrule me 100%. But if nobody's talking, I'll come up with something. So what we need a name and we need what, an occupation?
Yeah.
Can we be a tax collector?
Yeah. You are Carl Jr.
Yeah.
A tax collector.
And then what else? A location?
A location, any special skills Carl Jr. has. Anything we need to know about Carl Jr.
Maybe a little scenario.
I'll say Carl Jr., you are afraid of cats. Alright, and now we give the initial prompt. So this is like where we're at currently and what's going on. What's the situation we're in?
Can we be?
Roll directing.
We just got over a long night of partying. We have a headache.
Typical.
We have a headache, but we are determined to complete our current mission, which is collecting taxes from a local king.
Oh, this is like a fantasy tax collector.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, totally. Carl
This
Jr.
is-
it's misleading because takes you out of the fantasy world, but
Yeah.
You've just got over a headache from a long night of partying.
yep.
Let's see. You are going to collect taxes from a funeral home?
Yeah.
Or a kid?
Yeah, why not a funeral home? Let's do it.
From
Let's
a
collect taxes.
funeral home.
Cool.
And now the AI generates the next couple lines.
And it will read it. It'll read it out to us now.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is based on a
You
billion
walk into the
trillion.
funeral home and see a man
Google
with
searches.
a white beard standing behind the counter. He looks at you and says, "Hello, I am Mr. Whitebeard." You look at him in confusion and
Ouch.
say, "I don't understand what this is all about." He smiles and says, "Oh dear me, it's nothing. Just collecting your taxes."
That's his line. That's the Carl Jr. line. Oh dear me, it's nothing. Just collecting your taxes.
Can we threaten him?
Yeah. Hey, what do you mean you don't know? It's tax season, motherfucker. I don't care if you
Yeah.
work at a funeral home.
Yeah, but the computer thinks he's collecting our taxes.
Oh.
We're gonna threaten his ass.
Sometimes it gets real violent.
You tell Mr. Whitebeard that if he doesn't stop harassing you, you will be forced to call the police on him. Mr. Whitebeard looks at you and laughs. "Ha, you think you can intimidate me? No way. I'm not scared of you."
Classic old
You
man.
laugh back. "Well then why should I be?
Oh.
Mr.
Should I do next?
Yeah, we could do next.
Yeah.
See what he has to say.
Yeah, they just cut it off really weird.
Mr. Whitebeard
Wow,
continues
hey,
to
bumper.
smile and shrug his shoulders as if nothing happened. You continue to stare at him. "Do you know who I am?" he asks. You reply, "No, but I heard about you from some of
Oh,
the
I
other
got it.
customers here."
Oh, okay.
Mr.
Oh,
Whitebeard looks down and shakes his head. "Oh well, never mind then." You grab
Yes.
Mr. Whitebeard by the collar of his shirt and pull him towards you. He lets out a yell and falls backwards onto
Falls
the floor.
backwards. It's a
You
classic
begin
thing.
to choke him until he passes out. You take his keys and leave the room.
This AI is obsessed with falling backwards. So just like
It really
Yeah.
is.
he fell toward you, yet he fell backwards.
I got this. I got this.
Yeah. I love that they named the guy with the white beard Mr. Whitebeard.
Very creative.
Oh my god.
all right.
Hey guys, I got this.
I got
You
it.
go back
He's gonna
to
pay
the
his
office
taxes.
where you find Mr. Whitebeard still unconscious. You put the key in the lock of the door and open it. Inside you find Mr. Whitebeard's body lying face down
Continuity
on the
problem.
ground.
Yeah, yeah.
You pick him up and carry him outside. You throw him in the back of a car and drive off.
Sometimes it goes on its own there.
Okay, let's see if this works.
Where are we gonna dump the body?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. We're in full on hide the body mode.
Okay.
That's not a verb. That's.
Oh, I don't know.
But let's see what it does with it. You weekend at Bernie's 3 him.
0 in. The next day you arrive at Bernie's 3.0 in. You notice that the place has
Interesting.
changed quite a bit since you last saw it. The sign above the front door reads Bernie's 3.0 in instead of Bernice's 3.0 in.
Why would it be
Oh,
Yeah, not Bernice's.
Program Bernie 3.0.
Well, we got a body in our trunk. We're at Bernice's 3.0 in.
No, it was Bernice's. Now it's Bernie's.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Bernice's.
You enter the bar and ask for a drink.
All right, this is going
A
up.
waitress comes over and hands you a glass of water. She tells you she'll get it right away. You take a sip and realize that the liquid tastes funny.
Uh-oh.
It tastes like bleach.
What the hell?
You try another glass of water and again it tastes weird. Then you notice that the bartender is staring at you.
We gotta get Bernie dancing.
You play limbo music
Okay.
and make sure to keep your eyes closed while doing so.
Oh,
The bartender starts looking around and asking questions. Eventually he walks over to you and whispers, "What are you doing?" Quote dot. You nod and explain yourself. He nods and says, "That's pretty strange dot, but okay." He takes your drink and leaves.
I imagine it's like he had a jukebox and he put a quarter in, and started limboing for some reason.
you just
You
Just-
decide to see a dead
Just
body.
any dead
No,
body.
the
You
one in
walk
the
over
trunk.
to the back of the building and knock
You
on
didn't
the door.
specify.
There is no
Ah.
answer. So you knock again. Still no answer. Finally, you hear a voice inside. Who is there? You reply, "It's me. I'm here to see a dead body." The door opens and you step inside.
Okay. Why would you open the door for that guy?
exclamation point next.
Yeah. You wanted to hear? Yeah. If you want to do an action, yeah, exclamation point next, and then verb, and then
verb.
thing.
Got it. Oh wow.
The corpse is a very old man wearing a hospital gown. He sits in a chair in the corner of the room. His mouth is taped shut and his tongue hangs out of his mouth.
No.
He
We
looks
got
at
what we
you
wanted,
and
I guess.
grins.
We saw that body.
You feel sick and nauseous. You quickly close your eyes and fall to the floor.
Oh, not in this guy's house. The person who let us see the dead body.
Mouth is taped shut, and his tongue is hanging out, and we can see him grinning.
Yeah.
This guy's fucking with us, I think. He's not dead at all! This guy's just acting.
Nice prank, Grandpa.
We should probably tip the guy who let us in.
Yeah?
If we're not hanging from meat hooks when we wake up. Oh, Darren's got one going.
I got this one.
Let's see what Darren's got to do. Start a dead
I
body
think with one
look at
hand.
business.
A funeral home?
Yeah. Start a funeral home.
Bum, ba, bum, 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 ba, ba, bum.
This would be the plot of Weekend at
You
Bernie's.
insert a small piece of software into the corpse that reanimates the lifeless
Oh
corpse.
shit.
You sit down and wait patiently for the process to complete.
You just leave.
After an hour or
Yeah.
two, you
You
stand
don't
up
want to be
and walk
around
out
when that
of the room.
stuff starts waking up.
Yeah.
Alright, so we started the zombie apocalypse. Yeah. I like that you just shoved a chip into his mouth and made him swallow it.
Yeah.
You return to the bar and ask for a drink. A waitress
Oh,
comes
we're-
over
Whoa,
and
we
hands you a
looped, we
glass
looped.
of water.
We're in a Russian
She
doll
tells you she'll
situation.
get it
Yeah.
right away. You take a sip and realize that the liquid tastes funny. It tastes like bleach.
This
You
is
try another
Westworld.
glass of
We're just
water
like
and
looping
again it
where
tastes
someone
weird.
reset us.
Then you notice that the bartender
wait,
is
wait,
staring at you.
One at a time. Someone's already. Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Oh no, too many people. Well, I'll do it in order.
You complain to the bartender about your water not having enough bleach. He replies, "Yeah, well, we're trying to clean this place up. So we've had to use bleach more often than usual.
Makes
Suppose it could
sense.
cause cancer
Checks out.
if used improperly."
They could cause cancer, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah.
Answer.
Okay.
Yeah, he's probably right.
I got this.
You throw a bleach in the bartender's eyes and tell him, "This will cure cancer." He laughs and thanks you before leaving.
That guy's a good guy. What a.
I know. Landed him, he doesn't even care.
Greater than yes, you agree and make out with each other.
Alright.
What's the greater than sign for?
Who knows?
So we bleached the guy's eyes and then made out with him.
Yeah.
Now
I-
that you gotta initiate a relationship and ask where they're at.
Yeah?
Is this just a one night stand or is this gonna go somewhere?
Seeing eye.
You buy a seeing eye dog for the bartender. You kiss him goodbye as he leaves. You look at the seeing eye dog and remember how you first met it.
Whoa, we had like a relationship with a dog, a seeing eye dog, I guess. Oh no! The bartender's fucked if those wolves get in the bar.
You hear a pack of wolves approaching. You run out of the bar and hide behind a dumpster. You watch them approach. They stop near the dumpster and sniff around.
Ooh.
Suddenly, one of them stops and stares directly at you.
Here.
Talk to the wolves.
They see you and you both begin making out.
Alright.
Yeah, bestiality, guys.
Mhm.
More
You
funeral
howl and
play.
they respond by licking your face. You
Whoa,
moan
whoa.
loudly and their tongues lap at your face.
This is furry
You
porn
come
right
hard
now. We're
and
going
come all over
real
their
hard
faces.
down.
Oh my god.
Yeah, all from a howl.
I'm all over the face.
Yeah, you come hard. You come hard and come all over the faces. Wow.
Those poor wolves.
Yeah. Oh.
You cast a time travel spell to deal with your past trauma.
Wow.
You wake up in the future and find yourself naked and tied to a bed.
Oh, I guess we didn't
You
specify
are
back in
then
time.
told that you must pay a fine or else you will be sent back in time to die.
Oh, whoa! This is like
Wait,
the-
you died? In
No,
the
no.
past you died?
We gotta pay the fine.
Yeah, this is like
Pay the
Looper,
fine. I
except
think that's our
there's.
only choice. Pay the fine.
Yeah.
I
Pay the
agree
fine.
with pay the fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You pay the fine and are released from jail.
All right.
You go home where you meet your parents who are happy to see you.
Okay.
Your father gives you a hug and kisses you on the lips.
Okay. Right on the lips.
Cultural.
Yeah. At my high school graduation, one of the girls had like her grandpa who was like part of the school bar, and he kissed her right on the lips. It was the weirdest thing I've
You
ever
meet
seen.
your future self and he is much different. He has long hair and wears glasses. He asks what happened to you and you say, nothing really. Just some stupid cops arrested me.
Time
He
caps.
smiles and says, well, at least you got off easy.
Stupid time caps.
Okay, I know what to do.
Okay.
Yeah, go for it. What
Yeah.
do you got?
The cop licks you on the mouth. Oh,
You howl
whoa!
and he responds by licking your face. You orgasm and come all over his face.
This is taking a
Okay.
turn.
I didn't want that to
Take that,
No
future
more
self.
howling! Stop howling!
But this time you didn't come hard, you just orgasm.
Yeah.
Toned it down a little.
What's the secret? Oh,
You tell him the secret of how you were able to survive your encounter with the police officers. He smiles and says, wow, I
Paying
didn't
the
even know
fine?
that was
he
possible.
didn't know paying
Yeah.
the fine was possible?
Yeah.
Uh-oh. I don't think we want to know. This guy's pretty chill with us, just coming all over his face.
You ask him to tell you a secret. He says, oh sure, anything, and begins telling you a story about a cat named Kitty.
Well, we hate cats.
You laugh and say, that's pretty cool. But what does it mean? Quote dot. He says, it means everything. Everything is awesome. You say, cool. Can I hear it again? Quote.
Oh my god.
There we go.
Oh, it's thinking about this.
Oh, it's thinking hard.
You notice the blood dripping from his fingers. He smiles and says, see? That's why I'm cool.
Well, I'm not gonna argue
Quote
with
dot.
Wow.
You smile and nod and he continues. He goes on to explain that Kitty was a stray cat that lived in the sewers. One day he saw a woman walking along the same path he did. The woman looked scared and ran away.
Why would you even bring it up then?
Yeah.
Unless... What did you do to the woman?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we should use our
You
time
warn
travel
him
powers.
about the impending plague.
Yeah.
He smiles and says, good thing too. 'cause I wouldn't want to catch it. You say, so what do you want to talk about now?
No,
Quote.
howl. No more howl.
The next-
Oh, okay.
Talking about favorite shirt.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Just chit chat.
Red banana.
You talk about your favorite fruit. He smiles and says, what kind of fruit? You reply, banana. He says, huh, banana? What kind of banana? You say, the red kind.
There's
He
no
says, red
yeah.
banana. Oh yeah? Those things. You say, yep, they grow everywhere. He says, really? Where?
He
Quote.
unzips his pants.
Wow, our future self is really boring.
He doesn't even know about red bananas.
Yeah. Or he knows too much about red bananas. Become him.
The town.
Become him in this new timeline.
You stab him in the throat and take over his life. He tells you, okay, I'll let you live, but you gotta tell me everything you know about bananas. You say, alright, here we go. He says, okay, so there's these little guys called bananadiles.
What?
Banana dials.
They're like crocodile.
Banana crocodiles? Yeah.
We gotta go find them.
Yeah. He evades death. You've got us intrigued. Tell us more about these banana dials.
And he starts talking about them. You start laughing and say, hey, sounds like something my dad would say.
And I hate my dad.
Yeah. It kisses you on the lips.
Yeah.
You go search for the banana lace and eventually find them. You try to eat one, but it tastes horrible.
No.
You decide not to eat any more banana lace. You return to your home and tell your parents what happened. They are very pleased with you.
Oh no.
You got something?
I was gonna run away from dad. No, I don't got anything.
Yeah.
I don't want to be kissed on the lips by my father. Oh, subtle, but
You notice your parents aren't wearing their wedding rings. You are glad that you survived this ordeal.
okay. Try to divert.
Should I next it?
Yeah.
You continue with
All
your
right,
tale.
here we go.
You tell
See,
them
I
about the
remember.
banana lace and how they are responsible for causing the plague.
Well,
They don't
We ate
believe
one.
you, though,
oh,
saying that the
shit.
plague had been going on since before the banana lace came into existence.
I like that one.
You say, yeah, well, I'm not buying it. Look at this place. You point to a building nearby.
Sounds a lot like the conversations I had last.
Point at.
There's no plague.
Okay, I got this.
Yeah, you've been typing a lot.
I gotta get him.
Oh my
You
god.
point at an abandoned house near the city center. You say, look at all these homeless guys jerking off to each other and wiping their dicks on cats.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Oh no.
Oh no.
You watch as a bunch of homeless guys jerk off to each other and wipe their dicks on cats. You begin to howl and begin to howl louder. They look around and realize that someone is watching them. They run out of the room screaming. They call out to you and you come running out of the room.
Uh-huh.
I think this might be a lot. I think this might be the end. Yeah.
You go back to the old man's house and kill everyone inside. You
Oh
then
my
proceed to
family.
slaughter every single person in the town. When you
All
have finished,
right.
you feel great.
All right. That's a good end. Oh, that's a bad end, but it's a definitive end.
I like that we feel great at the end, like no remorse.
Yeah.
But there's no consequences because it's the future. We just go back. It
Yeah.
never happened.
And that's how you AI dungeon everybody.
Yeah.
I'm pretty amazed by the pinnacle of AI
Yeah.
Yeah.
being utilized for a lot of jerking off and coming on faces and murder.
Yeah. There's,
Maturing.
there's like helpful things like medical research and weather predictions, and then there's stuff like this for no reason.
Yeah. I like how the AI gets dirty before we do. You know?
Yeah, it really
Yeah.
does. I'm pretty surprised.
But then again, thinking it's probably designed by a bunch of dudes in their 20s.
Yeah.
That makes more sense.
Well, you said this is based on internet search results.
Yeah. So this is
So-
Oh,
yeah.
well, that makes even more sense.
Yeah.
Can we get a suggestion from the chat? Anybody got any ideas? There's some
Yeah, we
leftover
need a
ones. We got.
name, a location, and some skills,
Yeah.
right?
Well, Michael Rizzo suggested Randal Shatterstar.
Yeah, we can do that. We can do
That's
Randall
good. That's a good
Shatterstar. You?
Michelle suggested funeral director, but we just did funerals, so
Yeah. Well, that's what inspired the first one. So.
okay, yeah.
You are Randall Shatterstar. Shatterstar? Shatterstar?
Shatterstar.
What does Randall Shatterstar do?
It's probably pronounced Randal.
What does Randall do?
What if he's like a traveling jester?
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Census
Oh, Jason
taker.
says census taker. That might be
Yeah,
better.
okay.
Census taker.
Mhm.
What's special about Randall? You got any special?
A mind reader.
Yeah, mind reader's what I was going to
You
say. actually.
can read minds. Whoa.
That's groupthink, guys.
Okay. Where's Randall right now? What's a location or a situation he could be in?
He's at a Costco.
Oh, okay. Standing in line, waiting to get bread and toilet paper.
Literally.
A large woman cuts in front of you. She says, let's see what happens.
All right. Let's go, K9000.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, sir, but I just saw your face on the screen and it looks like you have a very attractive
Don't try to
girlfriend.
sweet talk us.
You look over at the
fatty.
screen and see that you are dating a beautiful blonde girl named Amanda who is also in line behind you. The two of you are about to enter the store when she turns back around and
Let's
says,
do it next.
I'm sorry, but my boyfriend won't let me buy anything until we're done here.
What?
You sigh and say, well, if he's so strict, then why don't you go get him? She smiles and nods her head and walks away. As she leaves, you notice something odd. Her eyes seem to be glowing red.
She's got it. She's got the plan.
Yeah.
Oh, good
Oh,
one. Really
yeah, I
nice.
forgot.
These are skills.
I instantly forgot.
Yeah.
You turn your attention back to the screen and see that you are now reading Amanda's mind. It seems as though she has been watching you for some time. You feel a sense of unease come over you. You begin to think about how this could all end badly. Suddenly you hear a voice from above. What the hell are you doing?
God?
Quote.
Is it God or the manager of Costco?
Same thing.
Yeah. He is God now.
You shout out, what the hell are you doing? At first you thought it was God. But after looking up, you see a man dressed in black clothing.
Interesting mystery.
He quickly runs off, leaving you alone.
Isn't this another reoccurring theme? Every night there was a man.
Yeah.
I said chase the man in black.
Yeah, that's good. That's my impulse too.
You run after the man in black.
Okay.
He disappears into an alleyway. You follow him through the dark alleyways and eventually find yourself in a small room with several other people. They stare at you in confusion. One of them calls out to you, "Who are you?" Quote dot. You reply, "My name is Randal Shatterstar. I am a census taker."
Said it with pride. You should know who I am. I'm Randal. Yeah, let's get to doing our job. Might as well while we're passing around town here.
The man suddenly appears before you again. This time, however, he is wearing a hooded cloak. He begins to speak to you. "So what do you want to know about?" Quote dot. You answer, "About the population of this town." He pauses and thinks for a moment. "Well, actually, I already know everything about you since I've been monitoring you for quite some
Perfect.
time now."
Just give us, and then we can take those numbers back to the government. And our job is done. What is his income?
Yeah.
What percent Indian are you?
"Okay, I'll tell you where your house is then." He replies, "Oh really? That's great. I live at number 5 road." You nod and start walking towards the street. He continues, "Number 5 road, which is right next to the park." You stop and think for a moment. That's not exactly it. There is another street called number 6 road.
Well, that's close enough.
Yeah, I mean,
Go to us.
audit him.
Yeah, let's go.
Can you audit people who wrote the census?
You walk down the street and finally reach the house. You knock on the door and wait patiently. After a few minutes, you open the door and find yourself staring at a young woman with long brown hair and green eyes. She notices you and smiles. "Hello, I'm Amanda." You smile
Isn't that
back
our
and
girlfriend?
introduce yourself. She asks, "How old are you?"
Uh-oh.
Quote.
This can get dangerous.
21. You
Oh,
reply,
nice.
"Do you live here by yourself or with anyone else?"
We're
Uh-oh.
important, guys.
Yeah, do you live here by yourself? Why are we doing this? We know her, right? Why is she pretending not to know us? Oh, what do you got?
Wait, this is the guy's girlfriend, though, right?
I would think so. Maybe it's just
I don't
another
know.
woman named Amanda living in this man in black's house.
Could be at the wrong house.
Yeah, or that too.
Maybe, let's see.
Oh, good idea.
"No, I live alone." She answers, "Are you a census taker?"
Yep. Don't even say anything.
She takes your badge and reads it aloud. "I'm a census taker. What does that mean?"
We just wrote it down on a piece of paper. Oh, what do you got, Darren?
Mhm.
Oh,
Wow, you're really being vulnerable.
yeah.
"I'd like to become a doctor." You reply, "But I don't have any money for college. I need to save up for it."
This is becoming an emotional scene.
Here we go. I got this. I got this.
Okay. Wow.
You just do.
"I can help you with that, but only if you help me with something else."
What? It's just
She
ignoring
replies,
me.
"What is it?"
So we said that?
Yeah.
Yes. I'm just trying to reset here.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Can I get $100,000
Yeah.
for doctor school? Oh.
If you lend me $10,000, I'll pay for your education.
Okay.
She says, wow, that's a lot of money. You agree and hand her the money.
Oh, no.
She gives you a big grin and thanks you.
That's not what a loan
Thank you
is.
so much. Quote
Yeah.
dot. You reply, now I have to
You
go.
gave her a
She
loan.
smiles and waves goodbye and heads off into the woods.
Okay.
She just robbed us.
We got swindled again.
Sell Amanda's house while she's not looking
Yeah,
and
you got it.
take the proceeds to go to college.
You rush into the woods and hide in a nearby bush. You watch as Amanda returns home.
Oh.
She opens the door and sees you hiding in the
She
bushes.
sees us.
She smiles and walks inside. She grabs a knife from the kitchen table and approaches you. Where did you go? She asks.
That's scary.
Nowhere, literally. We hid in your bushes. We want our money back, Amanda. Yeah. Yeah. Tackle. Oh!
You leap out of the
Red button.
bushes and tackle her to the ground.
Oh my god.
You grab her throat and squeeze.
Ah!
She struggles
Ah!
and screams. You pull out the knife
Ah!
and stab her repeatedly.
Ah!
Blood splatters on the
No!
wall and floor.
Why do we
You
do
stand
this?
up and look at her body.
We'll never go to
You take a
doctor
deep
school
breath
now.
and exhale. I'm sorry, you whisper. It's okay. She whispers back.
It's okay.
You gotta find out what she whispers.
You continue to kill her until she
Oh.
Oh my god!
Poor Amanda. Yeah, wait. We don't need doctor school. We can just do it. Yeah.
You kill her until she dies.
You wake up in a cold sweat.
Oh, it's a
Your
dream.
heart races and you
Maybe
feel
not.
sick. You try to sit up and cough. Blood comes out of your mouth. You panic and scream for help. A voice echoes through your head. Stop screaming. Someone help me. You turn around and see a tall figure standing over you.
Whoa.
It's Amanda. Her face looks pale and her clothes dirty.
Or we're having like a delusion. Yeah, what are you doing, Amanda? Whoa.
Why are
What?
you naked? You say. Because my clothes were filthy when I woke up. She replies. What happened? Quote.
Yeah. Is this a ghost situation or are we just seeing
Greater
things?
than yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, that's me. She replies. Well, I guess we should call the police then.
Sorry, Amanda. You gotta die twice.
I was typing that.
We need to call the Ghostbusters. You say. They're the best at dealing with ghosts.
They are. Who you gonna call?
You got it, Darren?
Yeah.
Okay.
Time to kill Amanda twice.
She doesn't seem too upset about it.
No, she's yeah.
It's not like a revenge
This
ghost.
will make you come back to life.
Oh,
You say.
no.
And they're the best at dealing with ghosts.
Okay. We're just lying to her.
The suit was dropped after a year. The
Yeah.
judge said he couldn't prove that you had killed Amanda.
Hey.
You decide to move on from this town. You never live here again.
Okay.
I feel that's the end of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Darren's got something. What's Darren got?
You can keep it going. You never lived here.
You never lived. Yeah. I feel like this is like a Netflix documentary. In 20 years, they're gonna finally process the DNA evidence and prove that we did it.
Yeah.
And then the ghost takes the stand.
Yeah. Oh.
Years pass.
Oh, okay.
On the struggle.
Yeah. And yeah, years pass, and
It might loop and say it's the thing.
yeah.
Yeah, maybe. It's taking a while.
Whoa.
A man named John Smith lives in a small town called Tumbleweed. One day while working on his farm, he finds a dead body. It's a girl.
Okay.
His wife Mary has been murdered.
What?
He doesn't know who did it, but he wants to know who it was before he commits suicide.
Whoa!
He goes to the local sheriff and tells him what happened.
Wow.
Oh, I feel like it started a new adventure for us.
Yeah, it did. Definitely.
This is
did.
like the cliffhanger at the end of a season where John Smith is gonna come catch us.
John Smith is an angry man. He thinks you framed him for murder.
No!
He tries to commit suicide, but it fails miserably. He falls off a cliff and dies.
Yeah, he slipped.
I'd say that's pretty successful.
That's great. So he changed his mind and then he slipped.
Yeah.
Oh, poor John Smith. I could have gone
He
somewhere.
rises from the dead.
Oh!
He calls himself Johnny Smith.
Johnny
He
Smith.
becomes a successful farmer. He has many children. He still blames you for killing his wife, Mary. He starts drinking heavily and eventually kills himself.
Look, the guess is too much. He's just gonna keep the cycle of reviving and killing himself. Johnny Smith. I thought he was gonna be cool, but he just ended up doing the same thing while he was living. Yeah. This is how you get into loop territory. Oh, whoa!
Johnny Smith is revived once more. He gets drunk one night and ends up committing suicide. He falls off a cliff and dies.
Alright. Yeah, let's help him out. Let's stop the suicide.
After another failed attempt at suicide, Johnny Smith is brought back to life. He drinks alcohol every night and ends up
You
dying.
just can't stop this guy.
It's like Groundhog Day.
Yeah, Johnny Smith
Yeah.
and his alcoholism.
Let's-
Oh, okay, yeah, that'll stop it.
Mary Smith is
Ah!
resurrected. She
That's
is now
that's
married
a
to
that's a
Johnny
good.
Smith. They live
Yes.
happily ever after.
Okay, yeah. And Johnny Smith doesn't react. And Johnny Smith never has to know about it, because if Johnny finds out, he's going to kill himself and fall off a cliff and die. Oh God, that we were right about to end it too, and then we met old Johnny Smith. Okay, now I think that's good though. Yeah, want to do another character?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, what
It's okay,
happened?
It's okay. The game.
Audience, any suggestions?
Yeah. Anybody watching?
Jason, I hope this makes a little more sense to you now.
Yeah. If you're still watching.
Yeah. It says 6 people are watching, so.
Yeah.
6 million.
6 million.
Oh, yeah.
What about?
Yeah. If you got an idea, let's go with it. Anybody.
Sorry, I was thinking, looking at. What about Can we be Gary Busey?
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
You are Gary Busey.
And it seems to recognize celebrities pretty well.
Does
Yeah.
it really?
Yeah.
You are
Oh.
Gary Busey, known weirdo and famous actor.
Like a new, old time, like NFL Hall of Fame knows very well.
Oh, really? That's great. Well, let's see what we can do with Gary Busey.
You are divorced and desperate for money.
All right.
Maybe trying to revive your acting career.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're in the office of a casting director
Okay.
for an upcoming blockbuster hit.
You are in the office of a casting director for a new hit movie. What's the name of the movie?
Live, Die, Repeat.
Is that a real movie? That sounds
Live,
like
Die,
a real movie.
Repeat. The story of Johnny Smith. It's a starring role.
Of course.
You take it and your agent tells you, and then let's see what our agent says. Come on, Gary Busey.
Greater than you agree to play the part of Johnny Smith. You agree to play the part of Johnny Smith.
Okay.
Your agent tells you that he will contact you soon with more information about your part. The next day you get a phone call from your agent who says that they have found out where Johnny lives and now they want to cast you as him.
Okay, yeah, we got that. Yeah, now let's put it through bureaucratic hell and...
You demand more money. Your agent gives you an offer which is much lower than what you offered before.
Busey will take
He
it!
also tells you that if you don't accept this deal, then he won't be able to help you anymore. You refuse to accept his offer.
We really can't, though. You think it over.
That's bad negotiating.
Yeah, I was gonna do that too.
Okay, yeah. Let's just do it on our own, yeah.
It's like Johnny Depp and Hunter S. Thompson.
You go to Johnny's house and ask him some questions about himself. He answers all your questions very well.
Okay.
Then you decide to see how he would act on stage.
Oh.
You decide to do a reading of your book. When you arrive at the hotel, you find yourself in a room full of people. There is a table with drinks and food.
Gary's got a book? I don't think so. Who's the ghostwriter for that?
Yeah.
Yeah, reverse time. Oh.
You ask Johnny to play you in a movie. He agrees to do so. After the shoot, you both leave the hotel together.
Oh, what
Quick
kind of movie
production.
was this?
Yeah, yeah, a porno. Something on RedTube for Johnny. Good old Gary's private collection. Yeah.
You go to the movie premiere and meet Johnny Smith. He is very happy to see you. He asks you to marry him. You say yes.
You know, Johnny's much happier in this timeline. Yeah? Oh boy. Oh no. Oh.
You howl like a wolf. You start to run around the theater. Everyone sees you and starts to laugh. They think you are really funny.
Hey!
Soon everyone wants to know more about
The
you.
people love me again. I don't want to be known for this. Oh no!
You get angry and throw a chair at Johnny Smith. This causes a lot of commotion. People try to calm you down, but you just keep getting angrier. Finally, you attack Johnny Smith. He tries to defend himself by punching you several times. He even manages to break your nose.
Damn it, Johnny.
This is exactly what Gary Busey would do.
Yeah. We should have just taken the role and shut up about it.
You spit your blood on his face. You fall unconscious.
Okay, one last hurrah before we pass out. You wake up, lick the blood off his face.
You
and
lick
pass
your
out
blood
again.
off his face. You wake up in a hospital bed. A doctor comes in and examines you.
Yeah. Let's see what happens. What's the doctor gotta say?
Oh, okay.
The doctor comes back and tells you that you need surgery. He says that you can recover or die. You wink at the doctor. He smiles and says that he understands. You awake again in a hospital bed. A doctor comes in and examines you.
Okay. We just broke our nose, right? I guess now would be a time.
You killed the doctor and take his identity. You live happily ever after.
All right.
Wow.
That's a good end for
That-
Gary
that-
Busey, I
that-
guess.
That's the
Pretty
best.
easy.
You want to do a new character? We'll keep on the Gary Busey train.
I think there's a ... at the end of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what happens. But... oh, man. Oh, okay.
Oh.
Years later, a young man wakes up in a hospital bed. His name is John Doe and he has been diagnosed with cancer.
Okay.
Doctors told him that he needs surgery right away, but he doesn't want to go through it. He wants to spend his last days with his girlfriend.
We gotta be in this movie.
He decides to write a novel about his life.
Man, he's got a few days to live, so he writes a novel.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I understand it. Oh.
You talk a lot about writing the novel, but never actually write it. Years pass.
That could have been a big break to come back into Hollywood. But...
You start a podcast, you interview famous authors and actors.
Well, I guess...
You make lots of money.
Yeah, that's another way to do it, I guess.
Yeah.
Get a visit. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was about to say...
You go on JoeRogan.com. You learn that Joe Rogan is a big star.
Okay.
You discover that he was once married to a beautiful actress named Linda.
Okay.
Yeah.
She died during their marriage.
Uh-oh.
Now she writes horror stories under the pen name of Linda Lovelace.
Oh, she faked her death to write horror stories.
You squander your fortune on drugs and prostitutes with Joe Rogan. You become addicted to cocaine and other drugs. You lose everything.
That's another Gary Busey. I believe Gary Busey would do that. Yeah, that would be really. I would.
You become
Oh,
an
and
MMA
okay.
commentator.
Yeah.
You fight many
That'd be
great
interesting.
fighters.
You fight.
You win and you lose. One day you realize that Joe Rogan is not real.
What?
You stop fighting and you move to a small town called Rio Grande, where you live alone and work as a bartender.
Okay, I could see. These are all things I could see Gary Busey doing.
You clean the counter. You become a successful writer. You have a son and a daughter.
AI.
You
Oh,
live
yeah,
happily
we
ever
know.
after.
You live happily ever after. We gotta do it next, Steve. Unless Tony's got something good.
No, I was just gonna say.
Oh
next.
yeah. Okay.
Did the AI add Gary Busey or did you?
No, we're Gary Busey. That was
We're
very
the Busey.
intentional.
A Gary Busey or?
We're the Gary Busey.
Gotcha.
Years later, a
Whoa.
young man wakes up in a hospital bed.
Wait,
His name
we
is
lose.
John Doe and he has been diagnosed with
Let's
cancer.
not squander this opportunity,
Doctors
though.
told
Let's
him that he needs
make a
surgery
movie about
right
that
away,
book.
but he doesn't want to go through it. He wants to spend his last days with his girlfriend. He decides to write a novel about his life.
Man, we're in a time loop.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh.
You acknowledge the repetition. You write your first novel. It becomes a bestseller.
The AI
The
heard
publisher
you.
offers you $1 million
And gave
if
us
you
an
will
option.
sign a contract. You agree.
Okay. How are we gonna squander this? Drugs and prostitutes. All right. What? Why?
You tear up the contract immediately after signing it.
After
You
signing
become
it.
rich.
You live
You
hap-
live happily ever after.
$1 million is not enough for a Joe Rogan prostitute. Oh, but I guess it is.
You hire Joe Rogan to be your prostitute. You enjoy your time with him. You become a famous comedian. You have a son and a daughter. You live happily ever after.
All right. We have like 7 sons and daughters now, right?
You pay Joe to homeschool
All
your
right, I
kids.
think it's right
We're
on.
in a
You
loop.
become a famous author. You have a son and a daughter. You live
Yeah,
happily ever
this
after.
is where it's gonna go off the rails now. Now that we're trying to live happily ever after.
Oh,
Whoa!
A few weeks ago, I wrote about the new Mormon Stories documentary, which explores the Mormon faith from a variety of perspectives. While this film does a good job of presenting some interesting information, there were a
Is the
couple
computer
of things
talking
that
about
struck me as
itself?
being somewhat
I don't
odd.
know.
Hmm.
Did you know they could have more than one wife? Those Mormons? I'm thinking about becoming a Mormon.
Snitchy.
I revived Johnny Smith. You decide to resurrect him.
I revived. Right? What? Smithy.
I messed it up.
That's okay. We can revert too if you want to correct that. Yeah, this is a new guy. Completely
You
original
give
character.
Johnny Smith magic underwear. You wear them and feel better. You live happily ever after.
Okay. But what's gonna happen to mess up this happily ever after? I feel like this is just the sine wave that is Gary Busey's life.
Yeah.
It's just pulling this off Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Years later,
Oh god.
the young
We've
man
lived, yeah.
wakes up in a hospital bed.
Okay.
His name is John Doe and he has been diagnosed with
Whoa,
cancer.
whoa.
Ever after.
That's what you typed.
Whoa.
Abandon your happily ever after. If you join the army and fight the undead, you survive and live happily ever after. Okay.
We cannot make Gary Busey not live happily ever after.
No, you find
I feel
a-
like I think the computer decides the end, and it just drills into it.
But honestly, if drugs and prostitutes make you that happy, just let them have it, okay?
You tell Linda Hamilton, come with
Oh,
me if
come
you
on.
want to live.
Oh, that's
You die and live happily ever after.
You die and live happily
Live
ever
happily
after.
ever after.
Okay, I think that's a good end.
Yeah.
A good real end. You guys want to do one more, or feeling done?
I'm down to do one more.
All right.
Yeah.
surprisingly, nothing to do after this. So.
Yeah. Chat, anybody got a suggestion of another character?
I haven't heard any suggestions from the chat in a while. I don't know if it says 6 people are watching. I don't know if they are.
Yeah.
Okay, I got one.
Okay, yeah, go for it, Jim.
What is it? The name?
Yeah,
And then
first one
what,
is
your occupation?
name and occupation, and anything special about the guy or girl, or alien, or whale, or chair, inanimate object. I don't know. Anything. And then second one is where we're at currently and what's going on. Yarno Truly, or a marathon runner. Okay. Oh no!
Oh no.
Ugh.
You've been running for hours and still haven't seen any of them. They must be hiding somewhere. You begin to wonder if they even know where you are. Maybe they're all just going to keep on running until they get tired or die. You can't let that happen.
What?
What? Oh no! Tony, no! Tony, no! It's just Bush's
Probably
baked
just
beans.
silly. Yeah.
You see a pressure cooker on the street corner.
Oh, Jesus
It looks like
Christ.
it's about to explode. The
No!
smell is horrible.
No!
You think you might want to go help someone out there. You run over to the pressure cooker and try to open it
Shut
up.
up. And
Unfortunately, it won't budge.
Alright, this is
You look inside
This
and
is a
find
MacGyver
nothing but a bunch of
situation.
wires connected to a battery
Oh,
pack.
Tony, what? Yeah, okay.
It could kill us though.
yeah.
You cut the red wire and the pressure cooker begins to
It's a
move.
sentient pressure cooker.
You put your hand inside the pressure cooker and feel something tickle your fingers. You pull out your finger and find that it has become a human arm.
What?
You then realize that this whole thing was a test from the aliens.
Whoa!
You had to do something to prove that you were alive and not dead.
Okay. Living on the edge is apparently what the aliens wanted. And now we have we have an arm where our
You
finger
make
used
your
to
way
be.
back home with the alien arm attached to you. You don't really understand what happened, but you now know that you survived another day.
Yikes, yeah.
You gotta make contact.
What fucked up aliens that put us through this test?
Yeah, how does this prove we're alive?
Yeah. That's just their
You decide that you're too tired to continue living as an amputee. You cut off your alien limb and throw it away.
I think I would do that, yeah.
I would keep it at least.
Yeah, I don't know. It could only... yeah.
Like E.T.
Yeah.
Oh.
You call the alien master, who answers. He says he doesn't recognize you and asks you why you're calling him.
Unknown number.
You explain that you're lost and need his help.
Okay.
He tells you that he knows exactly where you are and sends you to a house. You enter the door and immediately fall asleep.
You're covered
Why?
in hands. No.
You answer the door and fall asleep?
I feel the AI also loves to sleep.
Yeah. Waking up.
The next morning you awake to find yourself in a strange house.
That is.
There's
furniture.
no furniture, only a bed and a table. A man sits at the table reading a book. He looks very old and you can tell that he's dying.
All right,
He
this is
sees
probably
you and
another
smiles.
test.
Yeah.
It's another test from the alien.
Art, you don't want to know what's happening back on Earth.
Yeah.
You realize that the old man is Art Van. He explains that he's been watching you since you arrived and that he wants to show you something. He takes out a small box and opens it up. Inside is a small creature. It looks like a cross between a dog and a lizard.
Interesting.
It has 2 long legs, a short tail, and 4 arms. It also has 3 eyes.
Yeah, I'd be like, thanks, Art Man. Thanks for showing me this.
Art
Whoa!
Van shows you how to control it. You learn that you can speak to the creature telepathically.
Oh my god!
You can command it to follow you anywhere you go. You can also use it to attack people. Art Van gives you some sort of device that allows you to communicate with the creature's mind.
Dude, Art Van was cool as hell. Man, he's helping us through this whole institution.
It was just a front.
Yeah. No! No! No!
You use the creature to kill Art Van. You take the gun and shoot Art Van several times before turning the gun on himself.
What?
Oh, no.
Make it look like a suicide.
Yeah. The alien cops have to show up now.
You insult Art Van's furniture by saying, "I'm sorry, sir. I didn't mean to hurt your furniture."
Oh my god. Okay, you see alien cops arrive at your house and they say, do you know what happened to Art Van?
You hear
Whoa.
a voice coming from the radio. It sounds like Art Van. He says, "I killed him. I killed him." Then he dies. The police officers come into your house and ask you questions. You answer truthfully. One officer says, "He wasn't lying. We found his body."
Duh.
Another one says, "We'll be sending a team to investigate," and leaves.
Senior officer. What? Oh, this is too spooky.
You show the police your lizard.
I gotta
They
go.
laugh and say,
Fucker.
"That's amazing. That's amazing." Quote dot. One of them goes to grab a flashlight and comes back holding one. He turns it on and shines it on the lizard. Suddenly, the light illuminates the creature and it starts moving its head around. The officer screams and runs back to the radio room.
This is like Lilo and Stitch or something. This little dude's gonna. Yeah. This dog lizard's like. I think our key to getting off of this alien.
Yeah. We haven't controlled the lizard
No.
telepath.
Not yet, except to kill Art Van for some reason.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. What's going on? Yeah, might as well, yeah.
Yeah.
You command the lizard to chase the officer. The lizard follows the officer, and when it gets close enough, it grabs the officer and throws him against the wall. The other cop tries to stop the lizard, but it bites him in the neck. He falls backwards and the lizard chases after him.
Alright.
You turn on Benny Hill music and the lizard chases after the officer.
Alright.
The officer yells for help and cries out, "Help me! Help me!" Quote.
Please don't copyright strike
You
this
laugh
video.
maniacally and the lizard chases after the officer again. The officer screams more loudly than the last time and falls down the stairs.
Shit.
The lizard chases after the officer again and the officer screams even louder than the last time.
Oh, bad joke.
Yeah.
You tell a
You
bad
just did
joke
it.
and the lizard chases after the officer.
He screams.
The officer screams even more loudly than the
Okay,
last
we're
time
stuck in
and
a
falls down the
Officer
stairs.
screams loudly, Luke.
The lizard chases after the officer again and the officer screams even louder than the last time.
He keeps falling downstairs. Maybe it's just like a pyramid, and he's just like keeps falling down.
I feel like Johnny Smith is involved somehow.
Damn it, Johnny.
Yeah, damn it.
We've got to get Johnny Smith depressed so he throws himself off a cliff again. Walk behind the table, jokingly.
You tell a horrible lie and the lizard
Okay.
chases after the
What are you
officer.
talking about, AI?
The
We
officer
control our own
screams
destiny.
even more loudly
How
than
do
the
you know it's
last
a
time
lie?
and falls down the stairs. The lizard
Oh,
chases
yeah.
after the officer again and the officer
Oh my
screams
God.
even louder than the last time.
We gotta feed it some new words here.
I don't know.
You use telepathy to get all the girls in the bar's numbers and then burn the bar down and start.
Sometimes when it's too complicated,
Your own
it just
singles
repeats
bar.
it back at you. Alright, thanks. Thanks, AI. Hey. Yeah, that's
You
great.
name the bar, the Lucky Lizard.
Alright, we just did it.
Yeah.
Is this over now? Okay.
You
Oh,
steal
okay,
some
okay.
car keys and open up the garage door. You run inside and lock the door behind you. You put the keys in the ignition and drive away.
Okay. Stole some car keys, stole a car, bought a bar, burnt down a bar.
You drive to McDonald's. When you get there, you find that the place is
Yeah,
closed.
didn't they have to close
You
at 8?
decide to
So-
wait until morning.
Oh,
Yeah.
You find Vin Diesel. He's asleep in his trailer. You wake him up and tell him what happened.
man!
He tells you that he had to leave early today because he was going to do an interview with Howard
Oh,
Stern. He doesn't remember much about it except that he said he'd call you tomorrow.
okay, we're casual with Vin Diesel, alright.
Yeah. I should have said Gino. What, Toretta? Is that his name?
Who's that?
In Fast and the Furious.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh wait, didn't this start with the Boston Marathon?
Yeah, this is your horrible Yarno. That
Oh, I
was,
thought you were gonna say pressure cooker suggestion.
yeah. Yeah, I can't believe we've gotten far away from that, thankfully. It just took aliens. Oh.
You pretend to be a health inspector and sneak into Howard Stern's studio.
Oh my
You
god.
enter through the window and look around. There's no one there. You check the security cameras
Come on,
and see
AI.
nothing suspicious. You exit through the same window
You didn't
and make
find
your way back
anything?
home.
Yeah, this
Wow.
AI is an introvert. They're like, this is no good. Let's go home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're here. Might as well just go home and cover it up. Oh, yeah. Hey, Howard.
Why is he not in the studio?
Yeah, want some alien hands? I can make you a bag of alien hands. So,
Find Howard Stern. He's
Oh,
asleep in
okay.
his trailer.
Loop
You
me
wake
again.
him
Do
up
the
and
interview
tell
with
him what
himself.
happened. He tells you that he had to leave early today because he was going to do an interview with Howard Stern. He doesn't remember much about it except that he said he'd call you tomorrow.
I feel like that's a good end if we do win the boss. Yay!
You win the Boston
Yay!
Marathon. You're so
Yeah.
happy that you can hardly speak. Your family and friends congratulate you and give you gifts.
Yay!
You open
Oh,
the
it's
gifts
just
and rate them.
Yeah.
You howl at the moon.
What else was there? Oh no!
You come hard all over the finish line.
Okay.
You
Now
grab
it's just
a
matter
butter
of
knife.
factly. Okay. You-
You sign an endorsement deal with Nike. You live happily ever after.
I think that's a good end.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. We do this.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, we do this every
Yeah.
Sunday at 8. You can watch us at twitch.tv/AiPD. I'll post a link in the thingy.
Yeah. And shit on the future. What'd you think of this, Darren?
This is fun. I mean, I'm pretty amazed. I think that as technology improves, stuff like this can become like crazy cool. But yeah, this is pretty amazing already.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy to do it. Yeah, let me know anytime. I'm happy to join. It's a ton of fun.
Yeah. I'll probably
Yeah,
be
and
doing
it's
it
different.
like every day. So it probably won't be the full crew, but if anybody who wants to join on, let me know.
Yeah, I'm totally into it.
Cool.
Thanks for having me.
All right.
And support Planet Ant. They need it.
Yeah.
They need help
Yeah.
getting through this.
And thanks for watching, everybody.
Yeah.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.